Women want men to drop pleasure from masculinity. Women can only control you or try to use leverage on you when they know something that you know. Again, Hannah can only use some leverage on you when she knows something that you know and you value that thing. Pleasure helps a man to get a good sleep, to release stress, sometimes to make him feel relaxed, makes his life exciting, and many more that I haven't mentioned. Now, these advantages, Hannah knows. So the weird thing is she always has a way of poking it so that you can see the value in that pleasure and you can see the value in her. Because it has its own advantage and she can control you through that. It doesn't mean that you need all her for you to live, exist, and have a successful life. Once she knows, women, when they know something and it has an advantage to men, this is when you are totally fucked. Why? They will always analyze your pleasure and its own advantage psychologically. Okay, so if pleasure makes him have a good sleep, psychologically, I am the most important thing in his life. Because I am the one who can cause him have a good sleep. If pleasure can make him feel the excitement, feel happy, then I am the cause of his happiness psychologically. And he will need me for him to be happy. Like, that is how she will analyze it. She won't analyze the logic of, because of that, then Isaac just needs it. It's a basic need. No, she's analyzing it psychologically. The thing that exists in Isaac, okay? How am I contributing to what is important to him? So I am in control of his body. That is what I wanted to clarify first. Okay, so let's take the fact first. That one lady that you are dating, that you are with, that one wife, that one girlfriend, she'll dump you. For the fact is, in the past, have you been heartbroken? The wife that you are with, is she your first girlfriend in your life? No. If it happened with your exes, they dumped you, they walked away, she'll dump you, she'll walk away. If there is a possibility that it won't happen, then be aware that chaos, turmoil, it will come. Pain, it will come. Perseverance, it will come. Entertaining her bullshit, it will come several times. If it doesn't happen, she's walking away or you are walking away. For clarity, this is your past. This is what will happen to your future. It creates present. The movement of the past, your thoughts, your thinking, your experiences, your knowledge of the past to the present, that movement creates future, which is the movement. So you are always living here. This is the only healthy way to live, considering that your past has no heart, has no judgment, has no prejudice. It has given you an awareness. Now, before we dive deeper now, to understand why this will lead to this, oh my God. Understand that time is in the past. Okay? And right now, this second is in the past. So, there is no future time. Yet, it can exist if the present is modified with the past. Future time will exist when there is modification. You modify your present with your past. I want you to understand this first, for this is what we will use when conversing, guys. So, what exists right now? Maybe I have a corn that I want to boil, right? This object never existed in the past, million years ago. Maybe you were supposed to burn the corn, right? But then the present was modified with the past. There was maize, there is fire. So modifying the present, we need what? This. Is that making sense now? Women are fully aware. Women are fully aware of how men value pleasure. They know that as far as he can get pleasure, there is a higher chance that I have him. So pleasure is brought by desire. Okay? And she knows that pleasure is brought by him having a desire. And he can only have a desire when he looks at me, because I am his contributing factor, which leads to his determining factor. And now that there is a way I can heighten his feeling, then I need to modify my body, for I am using the past. I went through this hurt, through this prejudice, through this disappointment. Maybe that made me feel this way. I lost confidence. I hated these people. But when I look in a certain way, I will get these results. So I am using the past to modify me as Hannah, the object, for Isaac not to live, for I am modifying the present as a way of doing something that will influence your thought, Isaac, to continuously rely on pleasure, for I have a feeling that that will keep you and you won't walk away from me. Am I making sense? Or am I talking to myself? Which equals to control. But any guy who drops pleasure is the guy who won't be controlled by her body, for he is also not using his past. He has been experiencing the pleasure consistently. It is a pattern in his head. He has been relying on this programming. Even when he sees me, he will rely on that pattern. So it's easier for me to trap him. But a guy who drops pleasure and he doesn't rely on pleasure, it's hard for me to use my body, my object, to control him. And now that disqualifies her thought of modifying the present to control you, because she is using the past. Now, the real question is, how are you going to drop pleasure as a man in your own existence? Imagine right now you are on top of Hannah, and pleasure is something that you really love so much that you can't let go, right? And maybe you are influenced by your past pattern, your thoughts, and the thought is always in the movement. It is the movement. The future time is the movement of, the future time is the movement of a modified present by the past. So now that thought is controlling you, and you have a rhythm, you have a pattern that you have been following, so you are on top of Hannah, right? You are enjoying that snack, right? Can you just drop it at once and not continue pumping her? Can you just, when you are about to come, can you just cut it short, drop the action, and then act as if nothing happened, and everything is okay, everything is fine, without hurt, pain. Can you do that? I want your answer. Can you do that? Because that is not the way you are supposed to deal with dropping the pleasure instantly for you to have freedom. Because that pleasure already exists in you. It is a pattern, it is a rhythm, it is what your brain is relying on when you see an attractive lady. So you can't just instantly leave it, which will cause pain, torture, suffering, disappointments, anxieties. I will tell you the right way to do it so that it will equal to masculinity. This is a trick that will work best and better for you. There is only one way to drop pleasure. Understanding that the past is our background. Again, the past for you, Isaac, it is our background. She walked away. I feel lonely because she did this. I am going through pain because she did that. She cheated on me. I am not enough for her. That is the reason why she walked away. All these memories that you have, it is an experience that you had in the past, and now you analyze that memory, and now you have an informed information that is deeply analyzed, which is causing you psychological torture. You see a lady, she's attractive. There is always a feeling in you, for you are living in the memory, you are living in the past. She hurt me. She walked away. I feel this way. I must react. I must do this. You are living in the past, which equals to pleasure. It won't make sense, right? So, how many of you, okay, when did you start practicing having sex? When was your first time you saw a lady and you experienced total nothing about her, no feelings? So many times, especially with women that you're not that much interested in, right? So, how was your state of being when you were not interested in that lady? Maybe she was not your type, and she never showed any interest in you. And there was that present time of you just conversing without any of you guys being interested in the other person. Can you remember any of that moment in your life? Why? The reason is that lady doesn't remind you of any of your background, any of your past, any of your memories, any of your feelings, any of your emotions, any of what you want. She's just an object that exists. Why? Because you have dropped feelings. And that is what you are supposed to experience. But when an attractive lady shows up, you feel attracted to her, she reminds you of something, but you're not aware of that. Maybe your ex, maybe that one lady who thought that she's that much attractive, yet she wasn't that much attractive. She walked away. You meet with another attractive lady, then you see it has a meaning in your head, so you are living in your past. Or maybe you just have a certain feeling about her, a weird feeling about her. You're not even aware if it is a love spell. You analyze her. You are already living in the past when you start analyzing that lady. Because when you analyze something, you are trying to gain clarity through over-processing thoughts so that it can give you a certain feeling. Isaac, can you modify your present through your past without judgment, without prejudice, without feelings, without it's what you want, without analyzation? She's present. You can see her. She's attractive. Can you see her without seeing her in a certain lens? For it represents something in your past. Because when something represents something of your past, you are seeing it, you have no connection. That is when the connection starts. Your heart starts. Your disappointment starts. And now you are living in the past. You are not living in the present. Let me tell you something. When you are living in the present, one thing, no lady can control you through her body. And no lady can think that modifying her present in thought, modifying her present thought, because she's also living in the past, her memories, her heart. And no lady can modify you when you just live in the present without the past, without the future, because the now is what matters and it needs no analyzation. So the present can only be healthy when you do not use your past to modify your present through heart, feelings, emotions. This made me feel this way, so I must do this. My making sense? She's attractive. Okay, she's not attractive. Attractive is the word given to that object for it to have an identity and to give you a certain feeling about her. But observing her as she is, being in that state of being without analyzation of how you feel, and just observing doesn't give her power. It gives you masculinity, because you're not being driven by pleasure, for pleasure is the past memories, and you're not relying on pleasure to get her. So she can't even modify her thought to control your thought to get a specific result for her. How do you modify the present with the past without hurt, prejudice, emotions? She hurt me. She walked away. I don't like her. She made me feel this way. She dumped me. She cheated on me with my friend. How can you now modify the present with the past without those emotions and feeling? Because that is the only way to totally, instantly drop pleasure. How can you do that? Modifying the present without involving feelings of the past when using memories and experience rather knowledge of the past. You just look at her. Because thought is always in the movement, right? And the finger is the thought. I'm thinking about this, I'm doing this, I need to do this. That is the finger, and that is the thought, right? Now, the present stops being the present when you start analyzing. I felt this way. She walked away. You can remember your past without analyzing it. The feelings of hurt can exist, but you can stop analyzing how you are supposed to act towards her. because of your past. You just stop. You just stop analyzing that thought about that feeling, about her action walking away. Let me give you a scenario that will make sense to you. Now, I had this ex. I was 19 years. That is when I lost my virginity. Oh my. So, he was my first boyfriend. We had a relationship. This will make sense to you, by the way. We had a relationship. And then it happened. I found out that he was dating another lady. I found out that he was dating another lady the same time he was dating me, and he was getting intimate with her and with me. So that made me pissed. I walked away, so we broke up, right? And I lived with that hurt. I hated men, and I told myself, I don't think if I will ever trust men. So I had the doubt, right? And sorry about that. When I haven't really fully healed, I dealt with a guy who really loved me so much, but I never wanted us to date. And the reason being was because he was just acting in a certain way. Why can't he act the right way? Why can't he act this way? I can't just have a relationship with him. He's a great guy, but he has to act in a certain way. He just needs to be perfect. When it comes to hygiene, when it comes, why? You understand? But now, I came to realize, no, we cannot date. No, we are not compatible. That was when it makes sense that my ex had another girlfriend, because we were not compatible. And the same time, he was going through a heartbreak, so he was trying to date different women so that he can deal with his own heart. When he met me, he was my first guy, but I wasn't his first. So he was again going through a heartbreak, because most of the time he was talking about this lady who walked away from him. She broke his heart. You understand? So at the moment when we were dating, he wasn't fully himself. He was still going through hurt. And now I tell myself, okay, someone who is going through hurt, he's just trying to survive through women. He hasn't really identified what's happening. Like, he's just in a moment of, I'm trying to figure out how to deal with my feelings, but he's not even aware if he's doing the wrong thing. If not, he is aware the priority is his feelings. So I shouldn't actually blame him. Why am I blaming him? It's not making sense. Why am I hurting, trying to hate men? Like, not every man acts that way because that is what they want to do. There is always a motive behind them, and some are even innocent. They are acting on a certain conscience that they think is right, and that is just how consciousness can control humankind without them even knowing what they're doing, and you're just hurting. So why am I blaming him? Because this other guy made me realize that, no, I can't just have a relationship with him, then break up with him because I want to figure my feelings. Because understanding that I want him to be perfect is just a reason to make him not find out that I'm also going through a heartbreak. So that made me realize, okay, that was just the past. Why am I modifying my present by analyzing the past? I am just supposed to understand and be aware, and not to analyze the past so that that movement can make sense to me. Thought is always controlling you. I hate men. That is how all men act. Now that, let me hope, makes sense to you. That is when I started experiencing the present without analyzation of the past, but I modify the present with the past. For that is the only movement that exists in the future. Is it making sense? Or am I complicating things to you guys? Are you a new member? Welcome on board.